All right, here we go. Okay, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here in the building. We had some intro music for you, but I think that the music is copyrighted, so I do not want to get into any issues with them people on YouTube. You understand? Because what we don't want this show here to be done, we don't want this show to be interfered with by the powers that be. All right, because tonight you're gonna have once in a lifetime treat, an event that you probably didn't even know that you were in for. All right, we're forming VOLTRON tonight. We're bringing some power players, some heavy hitters, some of the brightest minds on the forefront of what we would consider our thought leaders of today, not of centuries of before, not of decades ago. You know, the brothers that are out here putting in that work on the front lines to this day. My brother, good man, a man like 19 Keys, man like Pop DARBY, brother Blue Pill, man like Red Pill. And we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things that are going on in society at a whole, right? But most importantly, in our culture and how it pertains to our the directions that many of us are moving in. And we're gonna take this time to do an album review of a monumental work of art called A Written Testimony. We're gonna take out the time for entertainment to soften up the night and give y'all some entertainment. And then we're gonna get into some more important and a little more heavier topics. So I'm not going to do the roll call because I have guests in the building tonight. So we're going to get right to the guests, and then we're going to get right to the build. So without any further ado, I want to open up the floor for my brother, your brother. I don't think is brother Blue Pill ready at the moment to come in right now. Let me know, brother Blue. Are you ready? Activate your camera if you are. All right. But I see everybody in the building. I see y'all. I see you, Pittsburgh. You dig what I'm saying? I see you, Little Rock. I see you, Virginia. I think I might got to do the roll call because we need to know what portals are connected. We need to know what ley lines are connected. We need to know what energy grid we are charging up when we tap in tonight. You know, this is a late show. So all of the brothers who were waiting up since 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock to see this tonight, you're going to catch it in the morning and whatnot. But, you know, we're connected all around the world. All right. Let me go ahead and bring my good brother Pop DARBY in. All right. I'm going to open up the floor for the God, Pop DARBY.
Right? Hey, what it do? Why you going down? Bro, this is so live for me.
That's right. This is litty. This is super lit. Yeah. If you have your volume up, turn that down so we don't get no feedback. Yeah.
Now I ain't gonna be able to hear you. I gotta give it a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
That's cool. No doubt. And without any further ado, I want to open up the floor to my other esteemed guest for the night. You know, the young Godbody who needs no introduction. 19 Keys. There you go.
Man, well, I'm blessed to be here on this show, man. This is very lit. I feel what my brother Pop was just saying now,
man. Do I feel like we're in the Nebuchadnezzar? You know?
Yeah. We just like into another realm.
Houston, we got a problem. We in space. We're trying to take off. So, you know, welcome to my humble abode. First and foremost, I want my listeners, my esteemed listeners. I know the ledge. We're known for having quality. You know, they say it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So over the decades, we're known for having quality membership. So I just want my members to give y'all a shout out. Y'all give these legends right here a shout out, brothers and sisters from around the world. Get a king some love because they can read. You know what I'm talking about? They can read the comments. So we're gonna put it on the screen so y'all can see it and whatnot because we show love around here.
Peace, family.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Hey, look, Key, you know, I don't be on the YouTube like that. This next level for me.
This is you know, when you go to the airport, you gotta get searched. You know, when you go to the airport, you gotta get searched. TSA.
Mm-hmm.
This is your TSA, my brothers. Y'all getting searched at the end. You still get searched at the gate. The family's giving you love. You know
Blessings to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. That's big love.
That's right. It's always good to set the stage and let the family know the environment that they're stepping into, so we know that we come in peace, and we know that we come in love, and we know that we come in the spirit of learning. Because when you do that, that allows us to, when you give, we're able to receive, and then we give back. And the gift that keeps on giving is those bars and those gems that brothers, that mine like 19 Keys be throwing out there. Mine like DARBY. Mine like Blue Pill. You know, we be having niggas walking around with Mr. T necks and whatnot. All of them pearls that we out here tossing. But without any further ado, I want to make the cipher complete and bring in the fourth pillar for the night. That's the brother that goes by the Mr. Law 44, Blue Pillar. Peace. Welcome to the platform, my brother. Welcome to Melanin Mondays.
Peace, love, and light to the family. Peace to you and yours, brother Blue, for live and direct. Is my visual popping? I can't.
Not at all. You broadcasting from Nita right now. You broadcasting from the nothingness. You know what I'm talking about? You know, you tapping in.
I'm all encompassing. Yeah.
You what?
I'm all encompassing.
That's right. That's how you looking right now.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, I'm not even known for having guests on Melanin Monday. This is a solo platform that I do every Monday to basically connect with the family. But I said, you know what? We cannot waste any time. We have to be responsible at the end of the day. And we have to open up our networks. And in this time of peril, and in this time of manufactured fear, meaning false expectations appearing real, what better demonstration that the people are looking for, right? But to do something that when I was looking outside into the atmosphere of quote unquote the internet and all of its vastness, I wasn't seeing this quote unquote being done, where you got four kings coming together in this time of uncertainty and in this time of basically, I'm gonna just wait to see what happens next. We coming together to say, you know what? Not only are we coming together, and not only are we showing up and pulling up to say, hold on. We looked up in the sky and we see the shifters logo in the clouds, because the people are saying now, what do we do now? Who do we listen to? And who got the solutions? So just like that, time has come to where individuals who've been preparing to come together and unify and to show why unity is key and why a unified concept and a unified vision and a unified principle is what's going to bring us in, and why that's a visionary sight, and why the time is now to come together and do something. So I just want to say welcome to the platform, each and every one of you brothers and everybody in the audience.
Thank you, God. That was a super wonderful introduction.
I'm appreciative to be here, man.
I'm not going to assume that everybody knows who everyone is. So what I would love for everyone to do before we get into our build is to introduce yourself to the family, even Blue Pill. And I'm going to introduce myself as well, because there may be people tapping in who are 19 Keys listeners or students or Pop Darby student. Who the hell is a Red Pill? So I'll let you go first, Blue.
Yes, indeed. Peace, love, and light to the family. My name is Blue Pill. I got a twin brother named Red Pill. I got a mama named Mama Pill. Little brother named KT. You know. What else?
All right, Pop Darby, let the family know who you are, what you out here doing, and as a paradigm shifter, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, what's happening, family? I'm a paradigm shifter like everybody else, and in the words of Keys, I guess that means we're a world changer. My primary focus that I've been making sure we pushing the agenda of is that we have our own sense of a union, and that we leveraging technology so that we could take care of our vital needs. Not only that, but to like really have structure and a government in place that works off our own mental instead of us being victims of circumstance to where we live now. So, that's me. I create technology that reacts with the world to create a social impact, and we'll get more into it. But it's the primary goal.
Indeed, my brother. And what region are you coming out of?
Oh yeah, I'm in the H, man. I'm from Houston, Texas.
That's right. You gotta let it know because
Yeah.
the family is from all over the globe, and a lot of people are regional. They regional bound.
Mhm.
So when they see one of their own represented, it means something to them. They like, all right, cool. We got H Town in the building.
Third Coast born.
Third Coast, that's right. Yeah, so the family want to hear what the family talking about out of H Town. You represent a whole coast right now. Because they always ask me, yo, Red, what's going on outside of New York? Yo, how do people, what their minds is like, what they on? I'm like, they on some shit that you need to be on. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
I'm like, they on it. They might not be on it the way that you on it, but goddamn it, they on it. They making things happen in the way that makes them feel like things are happening, not to your not from your perspective of where you may be. But 19 Keys, please introduce yourself, my good brother.
Man, blessings and opportunities to everybody out there, man. Super tapped in, man. I'm one of the greatest observers that this planet has ever seen. You know what I'm talking about? I go by 19 Keys.
That's right.
These keys have been showing out lately. I will say this, man. I'm from Oakland, California. That's why I'm still so well spoken, you know what I mean, in my articulative abilities. I am a part of the Shifters with those brothers, as we all were changes, and me helping people tap into higher frequencies that they possess within their minds and themselves. So, we solution-based thinkers, creators, and doers. You know what I mean? I'm an executor when you see that star impressing that represents that rulership. So I'm tapped in.
That's right. That's right. Indeed. And what we also know about 19 Keys that he missed the mixtape party. That's what
I'm gonna tell you something.
That's how the world 19 Keys.
I'm gonna tell a story, right? You know how they say it's your plan and it's God's plan. Well, I ain't been on God's calendar for really big events. I'm gonna tell you something, right? I had a meeting with Farrakhan when I was supposed to be at dinner with a private dinner. I missed that because of the plane. And then this time I'm supposed to be in there with Jay Elect and Hove and everybody, and I missed that. So there's my plan and there's God's plan. So history wants to dictate a particular later point in time when these two stellar constellations come together. So I ain't even tripping though. Hove, he missed the opportunity to meet me. I get that. You understand me?
Indeed.
I ain't miss out on nothing. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, why don't we could do a segue into an album review of an album that you were supposed to be listening to live, and a crowning that you were supposed to do of the new crown God MC. You know what I'm saying? Who they call Hove.
Hey, listen, I deem this to be the most important album of all time, and I need you to understand my language when I say that because I'm speaking purposefully when I say it. And a lot of people like what about Pimple Butterfly? What about this and that? It's not even really to be compared because it comes with it comes with, I would say, prophecy behind it, scripture behind it. It comes with politics behind it. It comes with the movement. It comes with signs and symbols for the country's mind to be able to recognize. Jay-Z in his career, he's done something he's never done, and he put himself on the line with this one. You understand me? This was his greatest leap in his career that he took and to show people that he's never took that much of a leap except in 444. And this one, I think, was probably to me the most selfish move I've ever seen Jay-Z make in his life. Selfless. People talk about Jay-Z and say he's 30% for the people or 70% capitalism. This one was just about 100% for the people. You understand me? Because not only that, he has children now. So for a man to make bold moves in his older age when they have children, a lot of men get less bold. You understand me? And more cautious. But here you got Beyonce doing the album cover and naming one of the songs, All Praise Due to a Lot, while Jay-Z spitting nothing but them God bars. You understand me? And you ain't heard Jay-Z go this direction and talk about things that he's talking about and be so open, because Jay-Z don't talk about religion at all. Jay-Z don't talk about spirituality. He don't talk about politics. He said these are things that are off the subject. And in this one, he went to different. So I named it the most important album of all time because it's essentially like him doing an album with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Jay Electronica, Nation of Islam, and endorsing it all at the same time.
Real quick, my good brother, is there any way you could fix or tweak the audio? There seems to be an echo. Yeah, I need that audio to get clearer.
Let me see. Audio, default filter. What about now?
What you could do, mute it and then to listen, because it's giving us like a feedback.
All right. What about now? Checking one. Let me try.
Nah, I can't hear you now.
All right. And what about now? You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear y'all. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're a little louder now.
All right. But yeah, man, that's just my that's a lot of feedback. Whoa.
You can hear it now.
You sounded good for like 2 megaseconds, and then you went in.
All right. Well, at least put it back to normal. That's my initial thoughts. Just initially listening to that album, hearing the first song or the intro, Farrakhan coming on it, he made a bold statement, and that this one was him, speaking his mind. This one was him being unapologetically black, unapologetically black pride in his time. This was Jay Electronica showing you, for one, why it took him so long to do it, because not only the expectation, living up to the legacy, but also the type of album that it would have to be for people to feel like they got to take a little album. You understand me? And it had to be that black guy after why I'm not to talk. You know what I mean? So he came with, from me, I know a lot of people wanted to just hear Jay Elect, but I think in this time, because he waited so long to Jay-Z on here, and put that for the time that we lost.
Hold on. I don't want to put you with audio is important, and the audio don't sound good. It's still
wasn't.
You might have another phone, but there's a bad feedback.
No, it's on my laptop.
Okay.
Your low key got better. But I hear you.
And pop.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me good? Y'all hear me good?
Now you.
Give me a thumb up. Mix it up. Mix it up. I know y'all can. All right, let me cut this down then. What about now? How it sounded?
You sounded better because I had to mute. I muted Key's phone, and I think I muted Blue Pillar's phone in order, and then it went away.
All right, so we good now? You can hear me?
I can hear you great. Let me bring each one of them back to see which one of their phones it is. Blue Pill, you back. Let me hear you say something.
Check.
All right, Keys, let me bring you back.
Baby mama. Yeah, bless her.
Yeah, it's your phone. It's your phone.
It's I'm on the laptop.
Okay.
I mean, the laptop pretty brand new. I don't know what's going on, brother.
Nah, good.
It's the frequency.
Man, my bad, man. My bad. I can't turn this off right now, man. There's a lot going on.
They said try have.
So I gotta go get some headphones. I just go assume my brother got that kind of paper. He just got headphones laying around.
Red, what you think about that?
Oh, the album. I think it's cool. I'm not gonna give it the title of the album, the greatest album of all. I don't see it in that angle. I think the timing of it is actually perfect. I don't think if it came out any other time but right now, it would have the relevance that it has. You know, I don't think it would have worked last month with Jay just popping out like that. You know, it's a purple tape. It's a conceptual album, but the concept of it is purple tape-ish. The way that you don't see Jay on no credits. Jay is basically coming in like Ghostface was coming in with more energy than Raekwon had to kind of like not clutch him, but to be there as the shooter, like they doing back-to-back shots.
He know people pay attention to what he owns, so he own it. But he owned it as a ghost. He's invisible. You know what I'm saying? It's the good thing about it is that they talking about what's going on, and he tying himself to a notion of consciousness. Remember when Nipsey died, we said, what does consciousness do to somebody that's in the public spotlight? And how does it affect them to what they want to do? And so now we can look at Jay-Z and be like, hold on, bro might really have something up his sleeve with every move that he make.
Oh, I mean, it's end of the day.
I want to reiterate my initial sentiments about, and that's why I said the language was important. For one, my biased opinion makes me love it, but two, when I said it's the most important, I didn't say it was the best album or greatest album of all time. Most important, signifying a change in guards and a change in consciousness. We know what Jay-Z is, the top upper echelon of hip hop. He's the boss of bosses. You understand me? For him to make that move at the top, that's very important. There's no album that signifies that type of importance and a shift. You know what I mean? The way things are happening. And that's basically him saying that it's like if he came out and he stood on stage next to Farrakhan and he said, I rock with Farrakhan, I endorse Farrakhan, I need the rest of hip hop to do the same thing. And especially at a time where these guys is playing all of their cards. You understand me? The gods is playing their cards too. So when I say the most important, I'm not even talking about just lyrical content. I'm talking about just the presence and the message that it represents for those that's in the know. You understand me? Now, you want to compare lyrics, that's different. That just goes into music. This actually goes beyond music. And that's the importance that I'm talking about with Beyonce letting everybody know that she had a part in this is important, saying that I endorse what was on this album. You know, so you having two of the most powerful figures in this entertainment celebrity world in this music world saying I endorse it. That is a very important signal that everybody needs to understand as far as hip hop. A man that went through all of hip hop, got to the top of echelons, only to endorse Farrakhan when he at the top. That's very important during the time when Farrakhan is in that transition stage and what that represents for the diaspora of Black consciousness. Them Jews, boy, them Jews don't like that. Boy, they don't like that. You understand? They said, what? Jay-Z dropped what? Well, who? What did he say? Synagogue, but what? Man, listen, that boy Jay-Z, I gotta give him so much R's and so much respect. This is his vindication. You understand me? Now, I don't know what he's been doing with his life, spirit cooking with Abraham Bakovich or whoever it may be, somebody. All I know that he said they sold to me. He think that, you know, I'll put it like this. There's a lot of rappers who do a lot of stuff that's going on. We know this, the entertainment world. And Minister Farrakhan said something very poignant. He said that I'm sinless. He said it's not that I never committed a sin, but he said I've done so much good that it covers up and so much outweighs it. How do you get that off of you? You have to do so much good and put out all of that on the line to try to rebalance the scales. You understand me? And what I see Jay-Z doing is trying to rebalance those scales. And he's been trying to do it in a way that's subtle to be the spook who sat beside the door. But now he said, fuck it, I'm gonna just give y'all the dynamite. And we're gonna blow some shit up and we're gonna do it on TV and I'm gonna take credit for the attack. That was next level. I ain't never seen no rapper make that type of sacrifice at their heights. Never been done. You got a lot to lose. A lot, a billion to lose, to be exact.
I mean, Kendrick.
Say that again.
I think about what Kendrick was doing with the last album, Damn, and how he put on for the Hebrew Israelites with his whole Yahweh thing and him, you know, claiming to be the black, you know, because keep in mind, there's the black Jews, there's the black Hebrews, and then there's the black Zionists. Those are three different movements. You know, when back in the days in the 70s, they were like, people were calling themselves Black Moses. You know, it was the original Black Zionist movement, like in Noble Drew Ali's days, where before we were talking about we come from Africa with Garvey, we were talking about we're Canaanites and we come from and we're Ethiopians. And we were identifying with being black Jews. You know what I mean? And that's foundational. You know, when you look at the foundation of the consciousness that many of us are on right now, it did start out with that conversation. So some been putting on, like, that's a big, like, Kendrick been holding down that whole, you know, and I people were like, his naysayers and his critiquers were like, oh, Kendrick is on some Hebrew Israelite. He's trying to bring us back into religion. You got some people out there who have been done so wrong, they've been molested so badly by religion that anything that has a tincture of religion on it, anything religion-based is a trigger. They don't want to hear it. You sold out. If a person say Jesus, even if he's trying to speak slick, even if he's trying to maneuver by utilizing, because Jesus is a trigger.
Yeah, you can maneuver with that.
But it's maneuverable.
I rock with Jesus now. I didn't at first. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't get the whole Jesus thing. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to be like Jesus. Blood was gangster, all right? You know what I'm talking about? Now, if you talk about him as a man or a consciousness, both stories represent something you want to tap into. And it's very powerful. We talked about this before.
Yeah,
now,
we talked about family.
Yeah, I would say the only critique with Kendrick is that he doesn't back up his music with his character. You know, he throws it out there, then he disappears. And it does the impact it can have because he's not the thought leader for his own music with his actions. So therefore, everybody else has to curate what he means because after he does something, he's gone. We got to wait for him to follow it up with another soundtrack. So Kendrick is, it's not even that it's like overt conscious or whatever. It's kind of like he has an interesting mix. It's kind of like somebody got me before I got to really gang bang, and I was conscious through this whole thing, but I learned something, and I'm gonna put this in my music. You understand me? Because you don't think of him as a street nigga. You think of him as a guy that was always on this musical lyricism. And what that does is it doesn't kill relatability, but it sets him off as Kendrick Lamar instead of like, oh, I see myself as that. I aspire to be like Kendrick Lamar because I can see myself in him. So his ability as a lyricism is next level, but him as a character doesn't fully create and move a movement.
With Kendrick Lamar, but the misfits.
Yeah,
Gifted, a place like Compton, the same way that you have Kendricks in Houston by the name of Travis Scott, the same way that you got Kendricks in Chicago by the name of Kanye West, the same way that you got Kendricks in New Orleans by the name of Jay Electronica, the same way that you got Kendricks in NC, the dope boy town, by the name of J. Cole, right? This archetype of the diamond in the rough, the super talented, uber talented, gifted black child who lives in the gutter in the trenches with all of the killers, you know, the Christ-like type who could walk in the underworld but also could reinterpret, and he's giving you ghetto poetry, he's giving you street gospel. He's able to be like, yo, I was in his description of the gutter, of the hood, you know what I mean, of Compton is so descriptive, is like, yo, you had to be there. But then he's still aspiring because he represents the indigo children. Remember, he comes out the same time that Joey Badass and them come out. He comes out the same time. He comes out as Black Hippie with Ab-Soul, right? Ab-Soul is even further in his consciousness than a Kendrick. Then he got Schoolboy Q. That's street consciousness. That's like A.A. Rashid type of consciousness. You know what I'm talking about? And Kendrick represents the new expression of what we call consciousness. He's Afro punk consciousness. He's, you know, I'm a drink of 40, you know, swimming pools and whatnot. We gonna pop pills and then talk about Egypt later on, or our melanin. You know, he represented that, you know, that his class, them niggas is like, yo, we gonna meet God under the influence of some MDMA, my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Getting some neck. You know what I mean? Like, we gonna talk to, if the black woman is God, my nigga, we gonna go pop some pills with her. How about that?
Yeah. Look, you got to think about it. Everybody got a role. So some people in business, you know, we talk about the visionary, the entrepreneur, and then the technician. So he's creating a soundtrack for the life. It's other people's job to live their life, to be able, for people to be able to point at him and say, this what he talking about. This what K-Dot be talking about. So now we got to be the ones to live out the lives for his music to become the soundtrack too. Because now if he's not going to do it, then that's the example. It's no example for them to push to. Like you say, it'll look like he just disappeared. But he putting it out there for certain people to grasp a hold to. Only person that we could literally say was different, we could say they walked the walk and talked the talk. Of course, Nipsey was walking the walk and talking the talk.
Exactly. And
so that's what make it completely different than anybody else. That's why his death hit way harder than probably even Kobe's did.
Exactly.
Well, I just want to say, even with all of these have evolutions to them. So even with what J-Leck and Jay-Z just did, they opened the floodgates.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? They just opened the floodgates. And that's why this is so important, because what you're going to see be birthed out of this. Now, let's just take myself, for example. Imagine me if I went full bred, y'all ain't know me, and I came out as myself, but as a rapper, full-fledged. You understand me? This will be what we see as evolution that comes out of this. But there's going to be somebody birthed from that birth child idea to where they represent kind of like a Kendrick, you understand me? But with the lyricism like, oh, they on some real black guy, Muslim militant, but that shit sound dope as a motherfucker though. I ain't gonna lie. You understand me? With a street edge though. Like, you about to see birth childs of J-Elect and this album of Jay-Z's consciousness being imprinted, and it's gonna be exactly what the fuck we need.
Oh, of course. I said the album release that they had in the studio where RZA Islam was there and 19 Keys was supposed to be there, and Hov was there.
Hey, fuck my name, bro. Yo, I was in the energy. I heard Hov laughing in the background and shit. I heard everybody kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I was there, energy. You know, it's the coronavirus fault, first of all. You understand me?
That's right.
Early that day, he texted me if I was out there. But I couldn't make it that fast. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't have a mothership. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I was there in spirit, like I said, man. A lot of plans. We're putting that in my face. I know I wasn't there.
This album is a catalyst. This album is a 2020 release. This album comes, you know, just the way that it came at a perfect timing.
Yeah. You know, the messenger is synonymous with time. You know what I'm saying? And he brought a body of work called a theology of time. You feel me? Even when the messenger came, he came at a very opportune time because people were somewhat dissatisfied. You know what I'm saying? And they had their backs against the wall. And they almost, you know, if we look at quarantine, we look at economic downturns, you know, the messenger came after the crash. You know what I'm saying? The messenger came after a level of dissatisfaction happened with the people. There's only a brief interruption, right? They call it a glitch in the matrix, that you have people's attention. These are opportune times. You know what I'm saying? So the messenger came with a message at a right time that was able to hold on to the people because in essence, it was a complete paradigm shift. He told them something they were not used to hearing in the way in which they weren't used to hearing it as well, right? So when we look at this particular time that we're in, and it's a repeat of the roaring 20s, now we're in the soaring 20s, and we're looking at the same economic downturn, we're looking at the same level of quarantine, right? And then the echoing of the message is separation and do for self, right? The combination of those two messages is one in which this brother was able to come with in a timely fashion and reintroduce, right? He it's almost like a qualification of that message. And the message, right? Even if we're talking about the whole thematic aspect of Nipsey in the marathon, the messenger hands the baton off. You know what I'm saying? Farrakhan is running, and then now I don't want to necessarily position Jay Electronica in essence where he's on par with these individuals that we're speaking about, but he's a student of the culture, right? He edifies the message by him also being a messenger in the day and time when the message is most needed. You feel me? So to me, it's like a thundercrack in silence. You know what I'm saying? It's causing a cosmic shift. And like we said, we don't know what those seeds are going to be because we don't know the pressure that's coming. We don't know the darkness that we're about to go into, right? So you can't speak on a seed whose time has not yet necessarily came as of yet. It just went into the dirt. But you don't know what that triple stage is going to look like. So what we're going to get out of this is a total metamorphosis, because I had sent my brother a link the other day to DNA, right? DNA GTFOH, get the fuck out of here. He's a battle rapper, one of the nicest battle rappers. His social commentary now is all political because he was barring it up about the coronavirus and about what he's observing about the media's manipulation. So lyricists are going to become more politically astute and more socially aware just based on where we're at right now. There's going to be a dichotomy. Of course, people are going to look for escapism. So there's going to be buffoonery at an all-time high as well. But you're going to see people coming with commentary and content that you never expected. These lyricists, hip-hop has never been in lack of necessary lyricism. They just never had the impetus to talk about something that resonated with what we want to hear. But these dudes got swords. They're nice. They just been talking about nonsense for forever and a day.
Yeah.
But now they have subjects. The pressure.
Even when you think Z, right? On Reasonable Doubt, he was saying I could rap like Rakim, but that ain't gonna sell. So he knew then. That's an early.
He wanted to then.
Yeah, he wanted to then, but he wanted to get his bag first, clearly, and it happens. So that he can let things out, let things move.
So we get an opportunity to observe Big Homie rules. I mean, there's a lot of lessons in this, right? You stay down till you can come up, right? That's a street proverb. Stay down until you come up. You dig what I'm saying? Son told you, I know how to move in a room full of vultures. Now he's like, billing on me right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Let's dance. Let's get to it. I know who the divine evils are. I ain't never forget. You feel me? He's telling you, like, look, I've been immersed in these lessons, but I gravitated and adapted them in how you explain.
Now listen to this. I seen Meek Mills recently dropped a song with Justin Timberlake, and before the song dropped, I seen a clip where he was talking about, it was a lady talking about the sun, moon, and stars, and so of course I took that clip and I dropped it on my IG. Now I had never listened to the song until like yesterday, and the song was about finding your crown the whole entire time. You understand me? I never listened to the song. I just seen the sun, moon, and stars because that. The hook goes something about the crown, and then at the end of the song, she talking about I guess it's a Bible verse about when you see the sun, moon, and stars, then you know it's time or something of that nature. So Jay is one that definitely is mentoring. You know what I mean? A lot of these rappers, especially Meek Mills, and bringing him upward. And I seen Meek, of course, retweet Jay Electronica, and they had a little converse on Twitter. Now, all of this is important to understand. Now, we talked about, I texted him and I told him this is quarantine music. You understand me? Now, quarantine, of course, he said this was made in 40 days and 40 nights. And if you go to the definition of quarantine, you understand me? It means 40 days. You understand me? And then when you break it down even further, my mom was the one who actually brought this to me. She said she made the reference between the Quran and Quran. You understand me? And said this is quarantine music, and it's the separation. You understand me? Because quarantine is the separation from the filth, a separation from the disease, a separation from the disbelievers and the believers. There's for knowledge of self and those who don't have knowledge of self. So two people are going to view this album from two completely different consciousness and lenses. People are looking for, you're not high observers, so there's somebody that's going to gravitate to it with knowledge of self, or the lessons, or the supreme wisdom, or the teachings, and it vibrates and it attaches to you differently because it's activating parts of yourself. But if you don't have those languages, you know what I mean, embedded in you, then it can activate that on you. So that's why this music, it is separatory. Everybody won't feel it the same way. Some people can only observe it as they observe an album. You understand me? But this is not about it being an album. This is a frequency. This is a transmutation of frequency, transforming a new generation. You understand me? And if we have to realize the importance of it, because it's bigger than Jay-Z and it's bigger than Jay-Elect. You understand me? It's for the entire community to utilize and galvanize the people into a higher consciousness. And that's why brother said that I was in the gym, but it didn't hit him. That's because you're working out the wrong muscles. You understand me? And so when I go to the gym, it's a super flex. I don't care. Everywhere is the gym when I play that music. It's a white person around me, they getting punched spiritually. And they might get it physically because I'm feeling myself. I'm just saying, that's how it hit me, and it's supposed to do that to the whole generation of guys.
Look, in the past, I would say 10 years, the music that we all listen to that moves us, because we've all adapted to the new sound. We've all now adapted to a frequency. Now, the master lyricists are able to put lyrics into the frequency. There's a few out there, Kambada, is one of them, and red pill is another, as well as blue. And there's other people.
I got a couple joints, though. I got a couple joints.
Keys got bars. Pop Doppy, yo, Pop and Keys got bars.
We're finna drop some shit for the quarantine.
Huh?
We're gonna drop something for the quarantine thing.
I'm gonna make a whole quarantine album. What you talking about?
Quarantine.
It's called quarantine music.
It ain't quarantine music.
So, yeah, the frequency, because people are talking about young children, young kids are not listening to the album. I would say this as somebody on the front line who's dealing with Generation X and, impressing upon them this consciousness, because once we get them to take the red pill, you got to understand that they can't untake the red pill. You understand? Once you take the red pill, once you become woke, you can't go really back to sleep. And the job of 19 Keys, the job of Pop Darby, when I got introduced to Pop Darby through the phone, he was out there doing this thing on social media in the hood, and I was like, son, he's speaking my language. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I got introduced to Pop Harvey during Hurricane Harvey when he was 10 toes down, right, doing the work that, you know what I'm saying, would normally be attributed to these quote unquote conscious celebrities who was nowhere to be found. So he rose up out of the muck of that situation, a hero in my eyes. That's where that's why I'm familiar with Pop Darby.
That's right. So I saw Pop Darby working, then I heard Pop Darby's science and his wisdom, and now we all are all part of the same collective called the Paradigm Shifters. But anyway, right? We all know that our job is to wake the streets up. That's what we in the trenches, and we work for the trenches. So we understand big homie rules. We understand how big homie rules work. And we know this shit works from the top down and from the street level. It works from the bottom up, but it works from the top down because there's a hierarchy in this game that we're in. So we understand that when the big homies start dealing with changing the frequency, that the young homies who have always been influenced by the big homies, even though they're acting like they at war with the big homies, but they all came up under the influence and the following. They're at war with the old ways of what they call the big homie. Them niggas is played out. They doing shit the old way. I'm digital. I want to do it my way, right? This is what the youth always say. Youth for war, elder for counsel.
Word.
So now the elders is on some counseling shit. Now they like, look, we maturing. We on some Bumpy Johnson, Malcolm X shit. We on some, you know what I mean? We sitting in the cafe and drinking together with the brothers with the bow tie. We sitting down with the conscious brothers who are on they fight the power shit, and we trying to figure out something. We trying to come up with a solution because at the end of the day, all we got is us. We the only ones who understand each other as much as we do. Don't nobody understand us. And when we look around, the people who are all gunning for us, they all coming after all of us. They not trying to cherry pick. Oh, no, that nigga, he be at the masjid. We gonna let him slide. You know what I'm saying? He's righteous. No, they have the same disdain that they have for somebody righteous is the same disdain that they have for somebody who always walk around and give them the middle finger and spit Tupac's phlegm in their face. So the disconnection between the streets and the masjid, or the disconnection between the streets and the scholar, is one of the reasons why we see the streets in the disarray that it is. First and foremost, let's be clear. Let's just get that straight. In the 80s, when the shit was functioning, it was because the streets and the scholars there was a cohesiveness, and there was an understanding, and there was a certain kind of a respect that each one held for each other. That went out the window, and now the streets is out the window, and there's no rules, and it's upside down. And what I'm saying is, I'm looking at it a lot further than music. Like Blue Pill in like 19 is saying, this is culture, y'all. This is culture. And culture
consciousness.
music.
No. This is a divine. And it's divine timing. It's rocket fuel mothership. Okay. So it's for the gods to mobilize to do what's necessary during this particular time to usher in a new paradigm. This ain't for everybody.
That's facts. That's
quantum thought.
Let me say something about time, man, because you made a great reference on time. There's a word called kairos, which means opportune time in Greek. And when you talk about the young and the old generation, we don't get that from African ancestry. We get that from Greek ancestry. You understand? We get that from Roman. You get that from Cronus. Cronus is basically the fight between the Olympian gods and the Titans. And it represents the ravages throughout time between the older generations and the younger generation. The father fighting with the son. That is what we see in white patriarchal intellect. And that is what's been grafted into the black man to not like the older black man and the younger black man, as we know through, Willie Lynch, you understand me, and just being around these devils, you understand me, for far too long. We have learned to not respect our elders when that was always the community conscious to always respect our elders and to learn from them and to give game to the younger and to learn game from the older. So when we look at time, if you look at Father Time in Greek, they're going to show an old white man whose name is Cronus, you understand me, with a white beard. And there's a picture of him eating the children. You understand me? So this all ties into the paradigm switching and changings as it exists today. When you look at 9/11, why did it happen? There's multiple reasons, of course, but also you look at the picture of the terrorists at that time was young white men. It was young white men. You understand me? The school shootings came out of that with Timothy McVeigh. And then you trace that back down to the Waco incident that inspired Timothy McVeigh, that inspired the Columbine shooting. You understand me? Timothy McVeigh blew up them 19 children, 10:19 a.m. And that's when the first school shooting happened. From that, I trace these 19s to uncover, paradigm things, as we call them. But when you understand time, that older generation and younger generation and thing to where they can't work together, that's never been us. And we are at the end of the white man's world, meaning his time and his mental rule over this world. And the breaking of that sends him into a 9/11. You understand me? And so in that 9/11, that's his emergency time. Now he's trying to figure out, how do I stay alive? How do I maintain power? So he has to have artificial sources. And he's used these young boys in hip hop as his own tools. And now the breaking of those chains and those mental chains is represented in the music that we see being played out in today, because he never ever wanted this kind of music in our culture, because he knows what that does. It binds us together. You understand me? And in that binding of together, those are the bonds that we have that can't be broken. So it's the loosening of the chain and a rebinding of who we are as a people. So this is the glorious. And if you look at what the Carters have done, they created relationship. First masculine, feminine, then family. Then after the family, he went to solo, to black man consciousness. Then after that, he went to black God. So if you look at the roundabout of what they've been doing, it's almost like they was already playing into their hand, but everything has to be sleight of. And so everybody that's not a master, not a leader, not a supreme thinker, doesn't understand why moves have to be played at high levels, because those at the bottom cannot see the view at the top. So you're not supposed to understand the views of the people at the top. This vision ain't for you. You can barely see people from a plane. So at the top, you can barely see the people, but you understand the landscape and how things affect the people.
Hence the fact that right? Jay Rosenberg or Peter Rosenberg, whatever his name is, right? Hit dogs holler. They do not want this vibrational frequency as part of our paradigm, feeding our mind and watering those particular seeds. They want to put you in quarantine and feed you little Uzi Vert in them. So the fact that these bars come at this particular time when people are going to be forced to observe and look at everything and say, yo, why do these people keep popping up in these conspiracies? You know what I'm saying? Because you see them shifting blame. Whoever this corona's blame falls on the shoulders of, or they finished.
Hey, bro, I seen something, the most beautiful thing I seen in a long time. It was a young lady. She told me that the first time she didn't know about Jay Lick album, so she checked it out because of me. And then I'm looking at her stories, and she's introducing her son to it. And the first thing that played on the album, of course, is Farrakhan. And she's like, and he's like, oh, okay, because they had, obviously, I guess, had listened to him at some other point in time. But he's like, Mom, this is just Farrakhan playing. And then at the Farrakhan done playing, Jay-Z start dropping bars. And she asked him, you liking that? And he like, yeah, I like that, Mom. And I'm like, see, this ain't just music. This is medicine for our culture.
Yeah,
you understand me? You know how fucking dope that is to me to be able to see that? That made me smile on levels. You understand me? Because I know what that is and what that represents, because there's another mom somewhere listening to some bullshit with their child, fucking twerking and doing all kind of obscenities. And here's the opposite, from that death music to life music, from that nigga music to God music. So this infusion in the culture is a big injection. This is our vaccine to the bullshit that we've been fed.
So this is look at time. We don't just look at like time, we look at the times. So we got to look at it in a 5 to 10 year period. And when we look at the past, if we look at the 60s or the 70s, we say, okay, what was happening? Sam Cooke dropped this during the time of revolution. So Jay Electronica dropped this during a time of the redistribution of consciousness and how we going to handle it without mental authority. So now in 10 years, as they talk about all that was going on, in that process will be the type of music that was coming out and how it impacted the culture and what happened because of it. And especially when things are fueling people to the mindset of the nation, rather than just trying to get them to be a part of it, because then that, like I always tell people, no matter what, you can't deny that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is probably the most successful man to ever live, because you can clearly see that his blueprint created a nation inside of a nation. And it's nothing else that's ever done that. And his blueprint was consciousness is equal to commerce. Put y'all money up. We're going to turn our mindset into something that produces. And we're going to go into produce and get these farms and this agriculture popping. And that's what was happening. So now if that mindset was prevalent way back then, imagine what we could do with that same type of mindset and technology. And well, not only us, but the people that's coming behind us can take that to the next level. This shit is going to change things.
Created a man that can pull in millions of black men. And not only did that, we already know how many people that came from the messenger. But now, under his credentials, is I done created one of the greatest albums of all time. You understand me? One of the greatest rappers of all time. Like that's now under his credentials. When we say, oh, Malcolm X, Farrakhan, now we get to say Jay Electronica and that Jay-Z and that Jay Elect album, A Written Testimony. Yeah. Hey, the brother got an unprecedented credential list. You understand me? It's I'm just saying. Yeah. Go ahead.
I like it because it takes you to the smell of the atmosphere. Like if I hear some music my grandma used to play when she was cleaning up, I get the smell of my granny house. I get the vision of it. So now when I hear that album, where does it take you to? You know what I'm saying? So that's where we going, because if that's going to take us to a place, then we can, once you can envision it, remember your mind creates it. The thoughts is what creates the reality. So once we can envision it, that shit happen. And we watching it happen. We just doing it in real time. So it's not like we can sit down and describe each part that's happening across the nation. But we could say we got a group of shifters that all have the same type of mindset, that all want to organize and create and unionize black people so that they can have a government of their own that they're completely dependent upon. And they not all in the same city. But technology allowed them to connect and allow all of their followers to get that understanding of that connection. So now we can cover California and New York and Texas and Florida in one day.
Yeah, but one of the things that you attach to that movement, and one of the things that you attach to the way that you timestamp yourself in time, is through the arts. The art is infinity. The art is immortal. The art is a time stamper. Like we remember the 80s through the music. We remember the 80s through the hits. We remember the 80s through it takes two to make a thing go right. And then you remember what you was wearing when you heard that. You remember what icy that you remember shorty that you was trying to kick it with when that came on and she started dancing on you.
Yeah, music is a time marker. You know, music is a time marker. It interwoves itself with the moment of time. So when you tap back into the music, you can unravel or unzip that moment
right.
of time. You smell it, like Pop Darby said. Smells are reminiscent, colors are reminiscent. You know what I'm saying? You start remembering the incidents and all of these things. So it encapsulates time. You know, with the brother, he gave us a time capsule, and we've been waiting on his time capsule. How long? How many times? 11 years. We've been waiting patiently. Some people impatiently on his brother's manifesto, and he gave a time capsule, so it will forever be encapsulated and intertwined with the time that we're in. The most tumultuous period that we know in our lifetime is right now.
So as a result of being in those times, what I'm saying is that we who are the creators, we who are the musicians, we who are the supporters of the musicians, because it's us who make these musicians successful, right? We help them break records. We help them go platinum. We help them with their billion streams. So this is the best time to be a creator. This is the best time to create art and to immortalize your art and to immortalize yourself, because the top artists are beginning to shift into what will be considered the same thing that Sam Cooke did in the 60s, the same thing that quote unquote when whatchamacallit, when what's her name? When Nina Simone went conscious. Marvin Gaye went woke on these.
Real life.
Yeah, I'm just. We have to put into this continent. We have to put into the right. Conceptualize the times that we're in now to what those times back in the day was, and the artists of those times, who they are equivalent to today, and take a step back and not look at our personal prejudices towards these artists. Look at how this is going to be written 10 and 20 and 30 years from now, how VH1 and how these things are going to address it when they speak about how some of these artists became radicalized or how they became quote unquote woke, and then the woke took them into this other place. But you're seeing that play out through one of the only things that is going to matter, and that's the music. The YouTube videos and all that doesn't get spoken of when they review history. They're reviewing music. That's the time. Huh?
I say that's a fact.
When I traveled around and I made my observations across the diaspora, music was a key. You understand me? Music was the key into communicating with all Black people around the world, because we all listen to hip hop. They either had us on a nigga frequency, and we never had the opportunity except when we really sing 444. When that shit, if that was the sentiment of consciousness around the world, if I travel and I hear Black people playing that puts them in a different state to where I hear them playing some Future or some Young Thug or some Lil Baby or whatever it is. That's a different consciousness there. So we was to go around the globe right now, and before we met the people, they was playing J Electronica, their minds will be primed already. So hip hop is the only universal tool for communication to where we can get everybody on a one world channel that is so powerful, but we've never owned hip hop, which is the reason that we've never been able to do that. So Jay-Z coming with ownership of his masters, you understand me, and his record label, and giving that autonomy and freedom to Jay Elect, because if Jay Elect was not under anyone else, he could not put out an album like that. No matter how much he recorded it, it would not get out. So it required this circumstance to even be put out at all on a high level. You understand me? So you have to understand the concoction that comes to that. And why is this so important, especially during a time where there's a lot of uncertainty moving right now and a lot of fear. And this was so timely to give us a soundtrack to our own heartbeat. You understand me? Because everything else takes us off our frequency of heartbeat. You understand me? Pop music puts on that frequency of heartbeat so you in tune with it. But the other shit, it has you sporadic, palpitating. You understand me? This was something like, oh, I'm back. It's God. And we back. You understand me? We slowed down the world for a second while everything is spinning around us. That was the importance of this. We needed an anchor. You understand me? Because the gods is like, yo, quarantine, diseases, viruses, it's too much for you to think of right now. And just like in 1995, October 16th, even though the internet was IPOing during that time, we had to deal with us atoning. And we couldn't see the technological revolution around us because we're always so distracted by our problems that we can't see the solutions. And right now, individuals like us and his Foursquare and the other shifters and many other beautiful black people around the world are seeing the opportunities and can navigate them and exploit them in real time, which has never been the case on a large level. We've never had these tools to do that. So not only can we utilize the music as a soundtrack to the movement, you understand me? We can take full advantage of the tools that exist and their plans, because this wasn't our plan. This was their plan. But remember, God is above their plans, and we the gods. So we see those details like, okay, I see the devil moving. Oh, y'all want our people to be open by fear. All right. That y'all didn't realize now that their minds is open, they're more susceptible to listen to the gods as well, not just the devils. So that's where our intervention comes, and that's why we have to make sure that this album in particularly, and any other albums that come with this level of importance, you understand me? Like you said, we the ones who break those records. We the ones who put the people on. This is not a fly by night because there's so much that the people distracted by could miss this. So that's why it comes in our midst to say, no, you don't miss this. This is it. This is the train you've been waiting to get on. You understand me? There's basically a Jay-Z collaboration, and the media don't want to talk about it because what happens when you talk about black consciousness, whether it's good or bad, you make black people more conscious.
And you know the record, right? There's nothing that you can do to please these niggas. You feel me? Because the artists that they say are the Puritans that they love, they don't support them, right? Them artists is not gold, let alone platinum. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick did not depend upon the conscious community to do the numbers that he did. The conscious community has never propelled any artist onto that level or that playing field where they can equal up and swing that sword and take heads. They just love complaining and nitpicking about every goddamn thing. This album was one in which that brother didn't have to disrespect any women. And I don't think that I heard a cuss word. But yet you're going to pick it apart. Oh, the beats was subpar. It was this, it was that. You know, I'm not these people in particular, but this quarantine shit is about separating yourself from the virus, man. The fucking people is the virus. I'm with Agent Smith on that one. You dig what I'm saying? Like, the people are the virus. You know, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they doing. They don't know where they at. They don't know where they going. You feel me? And grown men is attempting to have a conversation at a day and time where the women and the children need protection. They need enforcement. The men need to be reminded what this whole thing is about. And the reason that hip hop has become a playground for demons and demonic spirits and all sorts of conversation, this brother interjected God in the music. That's what's needed. That's what you've been missing. But a way in which it's not preachy and it's not corny. That's why Jay-Z got on it and started spazzing. He like, shit, I've been waiting for this for 26 years. So the 9/11 ritual, right? People that follow the Law 44, you know that I also explained the Twin Tower ritual was Jay-Z also battling Nas for supremacy of what? It was spiritual warfare because Nas wanted to now be a material rapper and Jay wanted to be a spiritual rapper. So that battle was for the hearts and the minds of the street disciples, right? Jay was like, look, I could talk that consciousness. It's just going to be from a street perspective. And Nas was like, oh, just because I've taught consciousness don't mean that I can't go into materialism. So they switched roles, right? And that started on 9/11. And it has culminated into a 19-year process where now we see him coming to the full maturation of and the comfortability of where he's explaining, I finally figured out how to make this God thing work for me. You know, the spiritual shit really works. Here we are.
Here we are.
To you, Law 44.
Yeah, 19 years ago, that's what it was. I forgot Jay-Z dropped that shit 19 years ago. God, boy, I tell you, boy.
Blueprint.
Well,
Blueprint.
You, man. It's 1944. It's a 1944 thing. You know, that was the atomic bomb came. That's why we were dropping so many bombs with this unison, man. He hit him with the 4, I come back with the 19. We uncover the whole thing with that. You understand me? Y'all better really get into this numerical understanding and this mathematical observation. It happens for a reason. The biggest fear, panic. At first, you had 2 of the biggest artists going against each other. Now you got 2 artists in collaboration. Look at the juxtaposition of that. You understand me? Yeah. At a time, Jay-Z would have never, ever collaborated on no album like that. 19 years later, during a time of fear, 9/11, biggest fear campaign, and then 19 years later, biggest fear campaign during Corona, where we have unprecedented shutdowns and quarantines of the government. You understand me? And instead of fighting with your brother, you uniting with your brother. Y'all can't tell me that juxtaposition ain't there and you not uncovering and seeing things for what they are. It's right in front of your face. So that's the time what we do.
Let's put it right. It's a vibration, right? The whole world is at a vibration. We had a vibratory state. If we speak using the alphabet, most of us are going to walk around and naturally be in alpha or beta. So when delta and theta come around, it has to create an influence to raise people up. So now as we raise those people up, remember what hip hop is supposed to be: higher infinite purpose, helping oppressed people. And purpose is one of our 7 spiritual principles to attain mental, physical, and spiritual freedom. So now we literally got to see what this does for us and what vibration are we supposed to be on. So I just want to probably get into that conversation about the vibration of the culture, what it means for us, what we can do with it, and us as individuals, what lane are we taking and what place are we getting in to make this go faster.
That's a perfect segue into where we're headed, because, you know, the title of tonight's show is VOLTRON, and we're showing the power of unified minds, the power of what they call in Think and Grow Rich, right? Mastermind, the mastermind principle. So we went and talked about the unity between 2 powerful MCs who we say are showing us the formula of Bumpy and Malcolm, the streets and the quote unquote masjid, or the streets and the scholars coming together to make a spark, to make a quote unquote, you know, to make the jump, because you got hip and you got hop. So hip is the mind, is the hip, you know, I'm hip, I'm woke. I know that. And hop, I'm hopping, I'm moving, I'm in the streets. I'm putting in that work, right? I'm spinning the block, I'm hopping. So when hip and hop comes together, then you get the movement, then you get things moving. So we're going out from now, these 2 brothers coming together, and now we're going into the territory of what you're speaking about, dealing with frequency, because ultimately the end game to where we all are going is, what is the benefit of 9 black men, or 8 or 7 or 10 or 11, each one of us who have our own platform, our own followings, our own, you know, student body? What's the importance of all of us coming together and forming Voltron in the now and right now, in these days and times when a solution is needed to the multiplicity of issues that are popping up, and the people calling out for some kind of help, right? My question is, how are we going to arrive at that place? So let's start out with Pop Darby. Let's build on the formula that you were just talking about, so we could segue into that question right there.
All right. So when you say the formula, you're talking about how the economic vehicle that we could use and what we would do, or just vibrating on the physical period. So, all right, if we look at fear, right, that's what the media is trying to put us in a state of frenzy and panic, talking about a pandemic. So fear would take us to a place. What holds people back is fear, right? The unknown and the fear of being hurt. So now people are going to be in a constant state of anxiety, right? And in anxiety, they either take a break, they either become defeated, they either fight back, or they take flight and make their own moves. And that's where we got to decide whether we're going to be defeated, whether we're going to fight back, or whether we're going to take flight. And the difference between take flight and fight back is, are we going to be erratic and just start throwing punches and posting things and saying that this ain't true and, you know what I'm saying, get lost in the sauce? Or are we going to take flight, meaning we're going to try to get to a destination? And then where can we measure out that destination? So my destination becomes a union for us, because when people think about what we don't have, how we aren't ready, imagine right now if they literally said this quarantine is happening. During a state of emergency, the president has the power to be able to cut off the internet, to be able to cut off your bank account, to be able to cut off your communication. This morning when I woke up, it was crazy. It's super crazy to me, right? My phone service, I paid my bill, everything was good, but it wasn't connecting. I had no bars, and it had an X on it. And I'm like, I thought I thought they had fucked it up. But I still had Wi-Fi. So first thing I did, I'm like, damn, I can't text nobody, I can't call nobody. I'm like, all right, let me see if Instagram anybody tripping. I had to go to the world to see that other people experience what I was experiencing. So now, if we all on the same type of platforms, imagine if everybody woke up and their phones wasn't working. Or imagine if everybody woke up and the banks were closed to the point where this money that we have stashed is not our cash anymore, and our dollar isn't our dollar. It takes us to a complete different type of state of how we're supposed to be organized. And we always talk about government. What is government? Govern is control. Ment is mental. So mind control is prevalent in this day and age. So if we're not going to take this technology to create a government that works for us, then we can't pay attention to what's happening wrong, because we're just going to be victims of circumstance. And the only way we can do that is by the examples that have been set. Marcus Garvey tried to do it, and Elijah Muhammad did it. Clearly, he created a nation inside of a nation that's completely self-sufficient and independent upon themselves. If that dollar cut out, they got some grocery stores, they got the agriculture, they got some land, they got some schools. Nothing got to stop for them. What the panic that we're in right now is because the world stopped. People love basketball. People love sending their kids to school. People like going to work because they like to be able to pay their bills, because they like to be able to have something to do. They don't have no definition of purpose. So now we just gonna go along with the world. You got to think about it. People raise up their children to tell them like being successful is getting a college degree and getting a job, not actually having a purpose or finding something that you value and changing the world about it. So imagine if that was the direction that we took our kids, right? To where they actually had to have definition of purpose and not just go for capital, but go to change the world. And the only way that we're going to change the world and create a whole new reality right now is to let our nuts hang and we don't even got to do it on a bad sense. Like Elijah Muhammad says $7 a week, right? That's $28 a month. If you got 1,000 people doing $28 a month, 28,000 a month is completely going to change their reality because of what they have access to do. Just imagine if a group of 1,000 people in the same neighborhood or not even in the same proximity had access to 28,000 just to take and reinvest, or just to take and start picking people out of 8,000. You got an idea? Here go 10 grand, here go 10 grand, here go 8 grand. Do your thing. Now it creates opportunity. That's why the word unity is in all of these things. Community, opportunity. You can't say it without mentioning it, because that's where you and I tie. And that's how I spell. You and I are tying together to create something that doesn't exist. So with my technology, what we're creating is a Black union where we can come together and literally create whatever we want. A lot of people focus on like the symptoms. They take the allopathic route to healing, like the doctor, because that's what we used to. We used to being hospitalized and taking vaccines. Yeah, I got diarrhea. I got a headache. My eye hurt. My toe hurt. They're going to give me everything except something that pays attention to what was the sole purpose of this happening. They're not going to tell you to change your diet. They're gonna tell you to take this medicine that's gonna hurt something else, or you're gonna get some more symptoms, then they're gonna use some more medicine for that. So if we looking at crime, poverty, oppression, how do they oppress us? They oppress us through the dollar. And they've been saying this is not like a new conversation. They've been saying this for hundreds of years, at least 100 years. And we saw during the 1920s, during what you said, the roaring 20s, well, we were pulling ourselves together. We had this under control. They had to destroy it to break us down, because you could talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Harlem, Houston, Denver, Durham, North Carolina, everywhere across this nation, people were self-sufficient. They wasn't worried about coming together with nobody else. They was pooling their resources. What they did, they had pennies, right? What we kept telling people to do with dollars, they were doing with pennies on the dollar. Some of them was Native Americans that had to start to accept a different form of currency. Think about the Indian Removal Act, right? That took people out of Tennessee and Oklahoma and just took their land because they felt like it was valuable and it was oil inside of it, and placed them somewhere. Here, all y'all can go there. They like, all right, cool. We finna prosper right here because we ain't gonna do nothing but put our monies together and build it. We're gonna end up being richer than y'all. And that's where the book Powernomics goes into. If we take, in 2016, our spending power was 1.2 trillion. But 1.2 trillion and 45 million black people, in 2 years, us circulating 1/3 of that around, which is now 1.5 trillion, like around 500 billion, circulating for 2 years, that means 45 million black people will all be millionaires. And if that math makes sense, then it's no need for us to sit down and complain about anything. We got to create everything that we want. And us creating everything that we want would be us unionizing. We created a technology. We all got Instagram. We all got Facebook. We could easily build an app every day that everybody could download. That's when it comes into play that people got to be able to, when they talk about traction, the opposite of that is distraction. If we want traction, we got to pay attention to what's going to feed us, what's going to be conducive to growth, what will our kids be able to take and do something with. So if we got 1 million of us on the same page, and we don't got to start with 1 million because then people's mind go too far. Let's start with 500 of us, right? Let's start with 1,000 of us. Let's start with 10,000 of us. 10,000 of us on the same page with just $20 a month is 200 grand. Now, what they do with that is tell us we pay taxes so that we can pay for our army, for our police officers, for our politicians, for our teachers. Our taxes are supposed to cover a whole lot. How much taxes do they take away from us? They charge us 33% on every dollar we make, and they charge us 0.0825 on every dollar we spend. That's a whole lot of money. That's a whole lot of capital. And they telling us they create a whole lot of government out of it. So why are we not taking that same strategy and ideology and creating a whole lot of government out of the people and the mindsets and the genius that we have capable and accessible to us? And that's what I did. I created a technology so that we could do this $20 a month. And even for the people to not take any kind of complaint around it, we made it to where it's a business development course that goes into a independent economy. So now you're going to get a business. You're going to get damn near business development. You're going to get promotion. You're going to get a amazing network of experienced people from every field. And you're going to be able to get the information and the tools you need for us to grow the resources we need as a people, and for us to grow the resources we need as individuals. And then we're going to circulate this dollar and make it all happen. It's just the mathematical, analytical mind can understand it. Super simple. Now we got to get everybody on the same wave. And as the consciousness rises, they get in there because I see more people reacting to it, especially in times like this, because they realize, damn, we are part of a government. Damn, they cut our hours and I won't be able to pay my bills this month. I hope they they help me on my bills. Nah, you should have somebody that should be able to help you on your bills. A union. That's what a union is for. Jimmy Hoffa and them had 1 million members in their union. 1 million. They took loans out on the money and were able to go build Vegas. Now, how much does Vegas make? Imagine what that union produced. Imagine what we could produce just as black people with the talent and the intellectual capacity we have. All them LeBron James and Dez Bryant's and Kobe Bryant, all of that is supposed to be home money. We got to sign them. We don't own no industry, but we produce all of the sweat for them. Come on, bro. It just make the most sense. So that's just the conversation. Us creating a black union that works for us, that helps us organize, that takes us to the next level, and can be transparent through technology. Because the conversation has always been, well, who gonna be the leader? Who gonna do this? We got a whole lot of shit that hold us back, but we don't have nothing that push us forward. So now that the opportunity is there, the people are there, what will we create? What will we do? How do we move forward with that? What are the decisions we make after we get this amount, this amount, this amount? What cities do we concentrate on first? What type of things do we bring to the city? That's the conversations we need to be having.
Deep, definitely, bro. You know, right on time. You know, that's one of the reasons why we shifting with you. You know what I mean? Because you definitely you definitely are on top of your craft, and you're living out the information. All right. So let us continue the conversation by bringing our brother 19 Keys into the fold, and I want you to build with the people about where we are at right now, solution wise, where we are at right now as a collective, and where we are heading as a people as a result of the times that we find ourselves in at the moment.
We in that time we were supposed to prepare for. You know, simply put. You know, last year I deemed 2019 year the keys, and that was the time for people to sharpen their keys up for 2020. And if you didn't build anything in 2019, it's not your year. I'm just going to say that simply put. This is the year where you need to gain vision and to be able to see clearly what's happening around you and what reality is. That's your time, because 2019 gave you too many signs. So as we find ourselves at this particular juncture in time, we have everything that we need. The only thing that we need right now is to communicate and to build with each other. So during this time of isolation, they say do social distancing. I say don't do no goddamn social distancing, because social interaction and communication is how this consciousness started. People talking to each other, hearing ideas that they never heard before, breaking them out the mode of the social construct that was created. You understand me? So the problem is that the leaders today are actually practicing social distancing. They don't want to get too close to each other, don't want to take pictures with each other, don't want to communicate and share resources with each other. Everybody wants to be the hero, but nobody's saving shit. You understand me? And so the only way this thing actually works is if people do what? Form VOLTRON. So the closest group that we've seen do that is us, the shifters. With our mobilization across the nation and the planet, the people got to see an example of what it would be like if Malcolm and Garvey and Farrakhan, you understand me, and all these great minds were traveling at the same time together. But what we at a particular point in time that we don't understand our own power, you know, because sometimes I see it through myself and I see it through others. We don't really understand our power because we are so in love with past power that we don't understand the current one. And we are the current power. All power is current. There is no past power. There's only current power. That's how electricity works. You understand me? So as we work together, we can utilize each other's platforms and share information, and we have access to smart technology and business. So what I'm going to see and what we're going to see in the very near future is that we take control of this narrative that's being spent around us. You understand me? Through music, through culture, through art, through business, whether it's stock, we have an expert in every single field, and there's no more gaps in our information, because that's always been our issue. There was gaps in our information. You understand me? Either we knew about the stock market, but we didn't know how to play it. We understand that we can watch and understand that this thing is going down, but we didn't know how to take profit from it, utilize that profit and to build our own. So now we have within our quandary a brother that can break it down and be like, all right, this is how you do stock options. This how you make calls. This how you do future bonds. Boom. We got that taken care of. We knew that land was the thing we were supposed to possess, but now we got farmers and now we have access to acres. You understand me? So now we can put that into play. We knew we were supposed to own real estate. Now the market just crashed. The brothers can come together, put money together, zero interest rates, and start buying up these different things for when the market bounced back. You understand me? We knew we needed all these things, but now we actually have the knowledge and know-how to execute. So what you're about to see is a merger between the thought leaders and the accessors. The accessors are the ones who actually have that knowledge, but the thought leader is the one who brings it forward to the people so that we can actually create mass movement. Now, the issue is that you don't bring everything in front of the people. You understand me? The way you lead sheep is not by telling them where you go. The way you lead sheep is just by going where you want them to be. You understand me? That's how the shepherds move. They don't go around and say, look, everybody follow. Sheep follow. Now, the goal of every sheep is to not get eaten by the wolves. And there are some sheep who can watch the shepherd and learn how to become one by focusing and observing on leadership. It gives them the ability to lead as well. Our goal as shepherd is to try to turn as many sheep into shepherds and to lead them away from the wolves so that they don't get eaten. And in that process, there's a delicate balance and act that has to take place. But I know personally that I've been having individuals reach out to me of high net worth and high value. And they asking, what can we do, Keys? Because they understand the times. They've been building up all of this business acumen and expertise this whole time. And they say, this is the time to strike. Look what I got. What can you do with it? And sometimes I'm well taken back like, damn, yes, I realize that you have the expert in business, but you don't have this what I have. This is how we make this thing go round. You know what I mean? So I say, okay, I can connect the dots over here, there, and there. This is this plan, but everything has to be a built relationship. So we have to build relationships with those who have the access. You understand me? And we have to realize how important those relationships are way beyond the conscious community, because you really understand that we think like each other. If you have a mastermind group and everybody thinks like each other, you're just going to rotate the same ideas. But when you bring in people of abstract thought or technical thought and you bring them together, that merger allows you not only to have a great creative idea, but now you have the ability to execute. And you can merge that with the capital or the credit, and now you have the ability to manifest. So I believe that the people will continue to benefit from watching these things happen. But this merger of the leaders and their boldness, we have to take full throttle and advantage of that. These rappers, we got to wrap them under like this. You understand me? We got to be the rappers of the rappers. We wrap their ass under. You understand me? And we utilize them. The the coders, we wrap them under. And we say, bro, this is what we need. These are the ideas. How can we flush this out and make this happen? All right, look, we have exponential organic growth with this business. How can you go into the algorithm, target this audience, do optimization on this SEO, the search engine optimization, and how can we build this out? Then we can go and say, look, all right, we have exponential growth. We made 100,000 this year. How do we create an exit for this company? Because too many people get into these businesses, but we don't create exit strategies. You understand me? We don't see too many young black millionaires leaving these companies that they built, you understand me, and just made a few million, and now they can go on to the next project. Because we've been taught psychologically in business that if a brother sells his company, he's somewhat of a sellout. And that's not the case. You understand me? We live in America. So therefore, okay, after you get that part done, because point of a business in America, either you build the business up to where it becomes a wealth stone for your family, or you create a merger, or you sell it, or you IPO it. We taught about the stock market. We haven't been taught about the IPO, right? So if we can take people, and this is something that I'm actually working on, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, and we can IPO them, what kind of power does that give us when we tell our people to play with the stock market? Now it becomes a global, a diaspora conversation to see how black you are and what's in your stock portfolio then. You understand me? It changes what consciousness is by acquisition of assets. Your assets show me how conscious you are. That's different. You understand me? So the beautiful thing is that everybody else has left their blueprints around for us to read because they say we don't fucking read. So when my brother Pop Darby was talking about the government blueprint, yes, they leave it around. They show us all day because what they did is they went to our land. They stole our blueprints. They made us forget about them. They built it up and said, y'all niggas ain't shit because y'all can't build what we did. And then so they said, y'all don't read. The ADL ain't hiding their blueprint with their 25 organizations that they started in 1913. And they teach you how that they can go and get reparations of land that they own and get their goddamn religion nationalized. They not hiding that blueprint. It's right there. The LGBT has a task force that they started in 1975 or 6. You understand me? And they say, the fuck are you talking about? The blueprint is right there. Anytime somebody got a problem, you ain't homophobic when you say something, but you gonna be fearful of us after you say something. Then you gonna be homophobic because you gonna fear the repercussions. Boom. You understand me? We go to, what was it? 1876. You understand me? When they created the 14th Amendment after the Dred Scott decision that was supposed to give black people rights as human beings, but instead it gave corporations rights. They not hiding this from us. We just not utilizing it. So I said, okay, that means that all black people should have corporations because every time the goddamn government goes under, they bail out the corporations. So now we have representation and more rights as corporations than we have as black citizens in America. Then all black goddamn families can go and get them some gold. You want to get them some gold. Now you have a tangible asset, not backed by debt, but you backed by actual intrinsic value. You understand me? I don't care how much gold that you actually own, but every single black family in America should have a corporation, and in their bank, they should have gold. Because now that's actual, real, tangible wealth. You understand me? Every white family don't have gold. This is a way that we can bridge the gap even quicker. You understand me? Because we can leverage those assets, never actually selling them, and then go to the bank and leverage that to get credit. Now, I had some other stuff I broke down on my podcast. I ain't going to break down right now because I'm researching that and seeing the logistics of how we can really mobilize with that. But this is the time of family. Without family, none of it matters. I'll just say that. Atlanta right now, there was a meme that goes around and it said that single black women are the highest first-time buyers of homes in Atlanta. That shit don't matter. You can be happy as you want to. A single black woman in a home is not wealth. You understand me? Because that's not generational wealth. If it ain't intergenerational, then it don't matter. Why am I celebrating a single person accomplishments? That's like me just finding somebody out in the street and celebrating their happiness. You understand me? You're supposed to be happy. I don't give a damn because you're smiling right now. Good for you. You understand me? Now, if you're doing something that make everybody else smile, I say, look at that. That's what's up. They doing something. What makes me smile, what makes God smile, you know what I'm talking about, is when we create black families. Because that's intergenerational wealth. Something to pass down. But Atlanta is a home of, they're very effeminate. You know what I mean? It's no masculinity, but they got money. It's money with no masculinity. It ain't no balance. So until we have that balance in that with family, then we cannot create that wealth to where we actually start winning and we have something to sustain. And those families that work together, that have corporations, they can merge. So marriages take on the original meaning of what they were meant for, of nation building in the first place. You understand me? The concept of love is not as quote unquote, and I hate this word, what they call toxic. You understand me? Because now it has purpose and meaning behind it. So if we're not being strategic, then what is the point of any of this? So, but I listen to my brothers and shit, it looked like we got the plan. So that's the beauty of it, because I listen to Pop. I'll be forgetting who Pop is sometimes. And he start talking like, God, that's Pop goddamn Darby. You understand me? That's Pop goddamn Darby, though. You understand me? That's how it is when I listen to my brothers. It reminds me of who y'all are. And shame on me for ever forgetting. You understand me? But we have to have divine reminders of who we are. And Pop, I just want to say this. From the time I met you to the time now, your level of articulation and thought out thinking is by far surpassed where you were at. You have elevated to a whole nother level. I sat there listening. I got my food. I said, sure, I'm just gonna sit here and listen to this. Don't call me in. I'm not trying to follow up all them bars. People gonna tell me, get out of here. You understand me? Talking about some keys next. God damn it. But Red just didn't want to follow that up. You know what I'm saying? What I'm supposed to say after that? Man, he broke down the whole governmental structure of the universe. You know what I'm saying? But that's the beauty of it, man. we are a group of powerful people, man. And I hope we continue to realize and act off of it. And as I listen to each other, I realize that when we leave each other and come back, we have so much more. You understand me? So much more. It's like, whoa, I didn't even know you grabbed that whole piece. Then he'd be like, yeah, bro, look what piece I got. All right, we put them together. Shit, we damn near got the whole pie. But we so busy, comfortable with crumbs, we'd never get the whole pie. You understand me? So, yeah, man, family number one. That's the 2044 agenda. Is that, you understand me? We got 44 million families out here. Not 45 million black people, 44 million families. You understand me? If we can make that beautiful reality a realization, because this is what y'all have to understand. Some people thought like, how you gonna make that many people? Because see, you thinking the minority, you thinking in just the United States. You understand me? We are the global majority, but if we're disconnected, we not. The moment we connect, the number increases. You take a group, right? It has 3 people in it. The moment those people on some other side get a part of that group, now that's 6 people. You understand me? So we have to group together, but you have to understand what separation is. So I want to leave on this last point. If we take the album of Jay Electronica, because we started on this, and we find all of the people who's listening to that, and we take those analytics, this is why technology is so important, because we can retarget them. You understand me? With this information, his album analytics of people that listen to that, those are our analytics that we can retarget to reach those people and get them a part of this diaspora. That becomes the grouping. Those are the people who are ready. And I'm talking about brown, black, people of all different collections of consciousness, but they see from that God spectrum. Because if they've lived listening to that over and over, are they tapped in? So we have to understand the beautiful gifts that we given, because this is how the white boys work. They say, shit, let me take that data and let me utilize this, and then we can just build on top of that. So hey man, I got nothing else to say, brother. I'm hungry.
Eating. Blue cup.
God. It was good. Yeah, I mean, you was asking direct questions. You got to ask me a direct one too.
Okay, no problem. All right, let's do this. So here we find ourselves in a situation where when we look into the world, or when we look into our culture, you know, we don't see a response from a collective of actors, singers, rappers, athletes, the entertainers who are celebrated and who are looked at as, the people who control the narrative or who set the tone.
Right. The people who hijack the narrative. Right. Where the woke folk at right now?
The woke folk, even our thought leaders, who many of us have looked up to over the years on both YouTube, Instagram, and other places, I haven't necessarily seen many of them come together. Now, them saying something or people tweeting, that's one thing. I haven't seen the urgency in any of these thought leaders, from the NAACP going all the way down to woke people inside of the woke community. I haven't seen the top woke celebrities, the woke people with blue checks. I haven't seen anybody say, yo, I'm getting together with my brother from the South, or I'm getting with my brothers on the West Coast, or yo, my brother's on a label. All of us on a label, we coming together and we're saying we're gonna buy 500 plane tickets and we're gonna fly out all of our family to the islands to ride out the corona wave. Or yo, we all came together all of these rappers, you know what I mean, or all of the people from the Knicks who are not playing basketball right now. This week we not playing in Utah, so we threw about 20 bands together, and we are gonna homeschool, 2 million children, just by opening up a facility and letting them live stream it to them, because we know all of these children are out of school. So we're gonna take this opportunity to teach them about Black excellence. I'm not seeing no responses by people with resources and ability to make things change. You know what I mean? To be proactive, to move as quick as the coronavirus, right? Because remember, this is a slow roasting pot. This thing didn't just pop out of nowhere. The corona been here since January.
Been cooking, right?
Been cooking since January. Let's be clear.
Right.
If people didn't react then, that's on you. It's been here since January. You could have had 1,000 face masks. You could have had the monopoly on all of the fucking sanitizer soap. You could have been on the Breakfast Club with Soulja Boy talking about your soap is moving, my niggas. Niggas could have been making hand sanitizer from January.
Early.
Or
you could have been putting stock out. You could have been putting the puts on these particular stocks. You could have been a visionary, because 2020 was all about that clear vision, right?
That's right.
Shout out to the brother, 19 Keys, because we already had the vision. You know what I'm saying? We had the vision. You feel me? We put the products already in production and in circulation, and it started from last year because we were observant to the numerical frequency of the time, and we got in alignment, right? Knowing that we had to, you know what I'm saying? You got to lay the soil before you actually put the seeds in, and then you sit back and watch the harvest. So, we appear somewhat calm under pressure because we already made all of the necessary adjustments. And one of the things that I also got involved with is food cultivation and land acquisition for my hemp farms and my hemp plants. So I already know what the future entails. I'm just waiting for us to get over the speed bump, because we got it. We have all of the designs that are necessary for us to create a new paradigm and build an entire new a new world. So you don't see the athletes and the celebrities and all of those people are part of an old paradigm, you know what I'm saying, that is quickly dying off. And they never did necessarily have the solutions, or we would have seen a lot more change, because those people have access to resource and they have influence. They don't even necessarily got to be the ones that you know what I'm saying, till the soil or flip the seeds. They could point a finger and the people get with it. Yeah, just to be get with, just to get underneath their deodorant. Somebody be like, look, I went and did that. But instead, you have marginalized celebrities. You have people like Carrie Hilson, who made her argument couldn't have been no more tighter. She was very descriptive and lucid in what she was trying to explain. She even put the video in her dissertation, and they still tore her up.
They laughed off of Twitter.
They laughed off of Twitter. As if, so like I said, the people are the virus, the people are toxic. And there's nothing that the planet can do with a contingency of people who refuse to open their eyes in the year of vision. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, they say those people have scales on their eyes. Because she brought forward her witnesses. She bore witnesses. She bore 2 witnesses. She brought forth the evidence. She gave them everything that they needed. What do they want? So how are they factoring reality? This is a serious test that's taking place. And it's a social experiment that we all can sit back and observe at this particular time. So, my observation is, like I said, Messenger and all great messengers that came forward, you know what I'm saying? They always said it's paramount that we focus on the necessities in life, food, clothing, and shelter. And that saying has priority, you know, it's mentioned with the priorities going first. So food is the priority. We put more emphasis on fashion than we do on food. We put more emphasis on housing or homes than we do on food. Case in point, like I said, you know, people ran to Atlanta wanting to be Atlanta housewives. You know, you could have paid 300 racks and got you a mansion that looked like you paid 1.5, but you don't got no land in the back. Even if you got land in the back, neighborhood association said you can't grow no food. So you just got a pretty house. You got a whole lot of space with nothing to do with it. You dig what I'm saying? So there just has to be an emphasis that's put on this particular new paradigm where we prioritize food so we never get caught in a situation like this. We never get caught with our pants down. We never get caught begging and pleading for Zaddy to feed us, because he's going to take full opportunity for the people that come crawling and gnawing, you know what I'm saying? And scratching for the vaccine, like, oh, I need that vaccine. You know what I'm saying? I need some scraps off this table because I didn't properly prepare myself. So now I'm in a predicament where my children done ate through all of the emergency resources while I was out at work. You did what I'm saying? And we up shit's creek. So now I need some help. Now I'm willing to do whatever. Those people can be compromised. You don't know who is around you these particular days. So it's time for us to build a wall. It's time for us to separate. It's time for us to segregate ourselves and really get our 1-2 thing together. Because, I mean, what do we need any outside folk at this particular time for? We can build amongst ourselves and come out strong and immune, right, to any viral attacks. And like I said, the viral attacks do not just represent a non-conclusive quote unquote virus. We're talking about zombies. We're talking about people who, you know, are not planning for the future, who can't see 25, 50, 100, or 500 years into the future. So this is a play, right? At the same time, coincidingly, you see China and America playing for quantum supremacy. We need to be playing for quantum supremacy right now as well, right? Yep. We're talking about literally the continuity of a species is on the line right now, right? You're talking about galactic cancel culture, right? Who goes and who stays? That conversation is being had right now, right? And it's either for us to dominate that conversation or it's for us to fall victim to that conversation. So people have some real decisions that they need to make right now. And the people who have been tasked with quote unquote leadership, you know, whether that be thought leaders or people that are actually getting out here and doing it, it's your time to shine. You feel me? But you can get a lot further by moving in unison as one. So VOLTRON has to be formed. You know what I mean? So these demonstrations are paramount. They're most important. You feel me? They're most important. And once again, I salute the brothers. Pop DARBY, you always had the game plan. You always had the master plan. You always had the answer. 19 Keys, you always had the outlook and the vision to bring the unison of people together so they can be tasked with you know, the things that our brothers bringing forth that says, look, we got a whole new economic paradigm. You know what I'm saying? There's power in this particular collective. You know, it could be 100. We could work 100 to look like it's 1,000. We could work 1,000 to look like it's 10,000. 10,000 to look like it's 100. 100 to look like it's million. You feel me? And before you know it, you know what I'm saying? We all the way on top, formulating and moving on the concept that we exist in 4 corners of the planet: the Americas, the Caribbean, through Europe, and on the continent.
That's facts.
So we have to stay down till we come up at this particular time. Stay down until you come up. And when you come up, we're talking about the return of the golden age, right? A whole new sun shining a whole lot brighter, right? And we got the whole blueprint and design for this new paradigm. And all of those cornerstones are being laid right now. So salute to the shifters.
All right, I want to say this. Salute to the shifters as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything that you said, Blue Pill, you know, I'm in full agreement with. You know what I'm talking about. But I do want to definitely add on. But before I add on, I want you to share with the family about your exploration into food, into growing food, and you know what is it that you have discovered.
It's so much. Like it's like the Most High is playing a joke on us. He's like, yo, I'm gonna lay everything at your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? In the end of days. And when I'm speaking of the end of days, of course, I'm not speaking about all out ending of time, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that certain people's time is up, certain paradigm is over. So I was blessed to have the opportunity to meet one of our scientists. There's geniuses amongst us, right? Just like many of the brothers on this panel. Those women know, and you know, these southern women, these southern geniuses, you feel me, who have been underappreciated and overlooked for so long. You know, this is an elder that I met. She's a PhD. And she said, yo, I'm tired. I'm tired of giving all of my service to the United States government. They had her working for the Navy on naval ships, growing food for them, utilizing her techniques and her skill set that she learned from her nana, passing it down.
Mhm.
So this lady, you know, she just utilizing these growing techniques that she's been able to yield enough food to feed a community of about 10,000 people, you know, for 365 days straight. You dig what I'm saying? And the cost is relatively low. You know, I'm not going to spit figures right now, but you know, we're talking about under 10 racks. That's unexcusable, right? There's no reason that we shouldn't have 100 of those spread throughout the country.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we could literally feed our communities where the people that are directly involved with the community could be sustained, and we can take care of every food desert that's around us.
And this is with greenhouses, correct?
This is what this is what hoop houses. This wasn't even a greenhouse. A greenhouse is bigger than a hoop house,
Hmm.
right? And this elder was like, "Yo, I got 6 greenhouses for you right now. 6 of them.
And what state? What state is that, Blue?
This is in North Carolina, right? So it's these are exciting times that we're in. Like the brother Keys was saying, it's things going on that I can't even speak. I'm so excited that I want to speak on it. I'm compelled to want to speak on it, but I can't. I'll just say that when I got in today, somebody told me that a very famous basketball player who everybody got their sneakers on the bottom of their feet, who resides in North Carolina, got $100 million for us to build out.
Mm.
Now, as crazy as that might sound, as improbable as that might sound for people, shit like that is happening damn near every day right now. In terms of them opportunities, in terms of things falling out of the sky, just moving in the right direction and conjuring up this energy where, you know, you make your declaration to the universe at this particular time. Whose side are you on, my nigga? Are you on demon time? You feel me? Or you moving on divine time? Like, what side are you on? You feel me? What side are you on? Because the universe is looking for answers. So the people who show up to be fulcrums for that particular answer, you're gonna get the help that you need. You're gonna get those divine downloads. You're gonna get those synchronistic opportunities that you be like, yo, I was in the right place at the right time, and it just fell in my lap. Like what the hell? So let alone all of the opportunities that have been afforded to us by way of the hemp. You know what I'm saying? With hemp, you can provide yourself with food, clothing, and shelter with one plant, God's miracle plant, and its medicine. You feel me? Like it's just so much. It's just so much opportunity that is arising at the time when another system is falling to pieces. Right? So I mean, you know, it's just, I said, it's blessings on top of blessings, and you know what I mean. We could sit here all day and just talk about opportunities that have been afforded to us and what we have access to as of lately. You know what I mean? But it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? We just got to tighten up what we already do have access to and what we already are involved in. And we have to supply the information for the people to make it through this dark period so they could get to the light.
Definitely. Definitely. I totally agree with you, my good brother. I do agree that it's important to let the collective know the things are happening when they're asleep. You know, it's always important to keep the family updated or the network that we belong to, because let's clear this up real quick. Right now, we're having a roundtable discussion with four kings on the line who are in different parts of the United States of America. One of our brothers is in Texas right now, in the Lone Star State. Another one of our brothers is on the West Coast right now. And another one of our brothers is in Atlanta, which is Atlantis. And then you have your brother here in New York City, the Empire State. All right. Shout out to everybody coming to Thursday's class. I'll drop the link again in the chat room. And we'll talk about that as we move forward. But tonight, you know, we have this monumental show, which is, you know, VOLTRON, you know, the connecting of the different lions, the four lions coming together, Brother Red, Brother Blue, 19, Pop DARBY, you know what I'm talking about? The Woo, you know, all representing different parts of the United States of America, all representing different hoods or different blocks or different states or different regions. But each one of us on a frequency of divine brotherhood, each one of us on a frequency of solutions, each one of us on a frequency of calmness and, you know, basically purpose, by knowing what days like this and times like this call for, by knowing that we've been preparing for days and times like this, by understanding and hearing the call and having the eyes that you can see to know that a better day is coming out of what we see as this quote unquote organized chaos. But one of the things that we have the opportunity to graduate from, we have the opportunity now to graduate from being a well-connected network. And when I say a well-connected network, what I'm saying is that in what is known as the social network, the majority of us have existed together, and that's where we know each other from. Okay, there's thousands of people right now who are watching me who've never met me and seen me, don't know my correct height or anything because we haven't seen each other in real life. So we're connected through what is known as social network, which is a beautiful thing. It's evolutionary. This is what we'll be talking about this upcoming Thursday. It's not revolutionary, it's evolutionary, the way that we're meeting each other now. But when we take the network concept and we transfer it into the village concept, and we do something such as when I met Brother 19 Keys, we met in the matrix, we met in the digital realm. And then when we met in the physical realm, in the village realm, in the other express, in the other, you know, in the real world, that's when the relationship and that's when the bonding built, and then we become part of a community. Now we're shifters. Same thing with Pop DARBY. I saw the brother in the digital realm on the network. Then we built in the village, right? And then we became part of a community. So there's this process that we have to take from being in the social networks together. And then we're going to have the opportunity to become a village together. That opportunity is presenting itself. And as a result of becoming a village, we will now become a community. Then we can fulfill the quote unquote idea of the conscious community, because it's an idea, it's a concept, but we're a part of it.
We're going to build it out.
That's right. But I'm saying that we're building it out. Right now, we exist as a network, but this network is operating at 0.0001 potentiality and probability. We've only experienced and we've only necessarily reached 0.0001 of our collective potentiality. Because here you have it that we're a network and we're not network marketing. Here you have it, we're a network and we're not tapping into the quote unquote the abundance of what networks represent. Right now, there's people with flat tummy tea in the flat tummy tea network that are nigga rich, white people rich, and Weinstein rich. There's women selling wigs right now with a lot of game, right? A whole lot of expensive stilettos. They all up in hotel rooms from Dubai all the way to Vegas selling wigs, part of a wig network, getting big money. Mary Kay, insurance, progressive, you name it, because there's a business model that the networks represent that they've been able to monetize it. Unfortunately, collectively, we have not been able to do that as a collective as of yet. That opportunity is it's been evading us for a very long time. We're beginning to catch up to that idea, because this new paradigm that we find ourselves in that has quickly shifted, right, is a paradigm where social distancing, right, like the brother said, we have to even challenge that narrative that they're trying to put out there, because in social distancing, you can have all kind of atrocities take place, because social distancing mixed with mass censorship, mixed with quote unquote internet internet quote unquote controlled by an egomaniacal, nationalistic, a billionaire crook president. That's not a good mixture. So somebody asked when we were building, as a result of what's going on right now, where's the place that conscious people can meet up with in case everything goes offline? What's the quote unquote center pillar? What are we all collectively going to agree on? Now, this is what I'm going to say on a show like this tonight at a time like this. And the reason why you see 4 of us building with you who belong to an organization, and that organization's purpose is to make collective decisions in times like this that are going to affect not the individual, but the collective. And we're speaking about millions if you just add up the quote unquote followers of just all 4 of us. Let's not mention RZA, Brother Ben X, Derek Grace, and a few other members of this shifters. We're speaking about millions. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a collective stream, right? Because like I said, because of the paradigm shift, this will be the way that we will communicate to the family until further notice. This platform will be removed into our app, something that we control, a communication device that Red Pill and Blue Pill are in full control of. That will be given to that will be rolled out to the audience as soon as Thursday during our online class and whatnot. We have an app coming, so we don't got to worry about communicating through YouTube. We could communicate through here, but you'll be able to pull your phone open every morning and get unadulterated, uninterrupted, uncensored, information from our app, our home, right? So I want to tell, I would love to tell the family that are asking, where's the place that we're going to meet up right now, a place, but I'm at this moment, that's something that I need to discuss with the collective, but we will be coming up with solutions such as that, because I know that is, if we put out a poll tonight, if all of us individually put a poll out, that would be at the top of the questions in the poll, right? And we should collect data at this point too from the brothers and sisters who consider themselves followers or students and whatnot, and see what the people are thinking, because this is a critical time to collect data and information, especially because we find ourselves in a unique time that you're not going to live through this time again. That's why you crystallize the time with music. You crystallize the time with paintings. You crystallize the time by pressing record on your camera, and you blog, you vlog, you talk, you express oneself. That's how you emote. That's how you get it out. If you got to scream into a camera, or, do what you got to do. But the best way that Black people with melanin do, we create. We create. You'll get more out of creating than you will by destroying in a time like this. This is the time to tap in, and this is the time to treat this bitch like every day is you gotta give it, you gotta give this shit, you gotta give every day its grace and its gratitude and its purpose. Don't be quarantined for 14 days and don't come up out of this bitch with a magnus opus. Don't not come up out this bitch with your biography not put together, or that movie that you had in your mind that you've been procrastinating on. Don't come up out of this bitch without a motherfucking treasure chest of something, because you don't know how long the light is at the end of this tunnel. So this is a 2020. This bitch has kicked off showing you this is not the year to procrastinate. Although this is the year of vision and 2020 vision and clarity, but it's the year of duality too. This bitch is life and death. You know what I'm talking about? It's a free radical, So
it's a juxtaposition, right? As I always say.
It's a juxtaposition.
Juxtapose.
That's right, a juxtapose. So we see the glass half full. And I'm excited to see this Voltron come together, because we know the regular members of the Voltron team, but just imagine who else is finna jump on the battlefield while we go up against this monster. It's gonna be interesting. We got the big homie on board. Like I said, I live in the world of quantum physics. I live in a quantum universe. I live in a world of probabilities. I understand. I'm a carnivore of the culture. So I know movements within the culture. I can read the algorithm, and I know when probabilities expand by certain moves and whatnot. In the world of probability, if any of you niggas is nice with the dice out there, who hit them 4, 5, 6s, if anybody goes to Vegas, if anybody's in the casino, you know about the law of probability. You know what I'm speaking of. If anybody deals with throwing the bones and whatnot, if you deal with divination, if you deal with any of these numbers and whatnot, you know that when certain things happen, they expand probabilities. The probability of us one day waking up collectively as melanated people by ourselves on this planet, that shit, the probability of that happening is more, perceivable today than it probably was a week ago. How about that? Because a lot of people are kind of, niggas is being, real friendly and whatnot, or they're being politically correct by not having conversations about what is the implications that, although they're dangling people in front of you saying, look, somebody melanated got coronavirus, and they had a day party. They like, yo, what's good, fam? That shit. Yo, check this out, right? I got the coronavirus. Yeah, I'm quarantined. It's me and my team. Yeah, we turned up. I'm gonna get back at you. How is niggas partying with the coronavirus? The basketball player dude had it. He was lit on live, like, yo, that new Veronica's lit. Bleh. You know what I mean? Some other niggas was doing the Uzi Vert mixed with the Pop Smoke. Then the other basketball player was like, I'm ready to play ball again. And Idris Alba was with his whiz with no symptoms. He just was like, yo, the Cash App hit, my niggas. That shit hit my account. I got corona.
None of them got symptoms.
They paying, yo, this shit is part of their bonus. The way these niggas contracts is put together, my nigga, they
had corona in the bonus.
I got corona. That's the Magic Johnson clause on these niggas.
Corona.
It wasn't as bad as Magic. Magic had no symptoms either. Shit.
Yo, nigga, Magic got Jordan stocks on the low.
Hey, we got let's see what Ro Idris get next. He about to play Superman next. Watch.
Yo, not only is he getting 007, they giving that nigga that nigga's gonna be the next Spider-Man.
He gonna be the next prime minister out there in the UK. Fuck around.
Nah.
That's what he's gonna be the president. Hey, no, matter of fact, he gonna take King Harry's place, Prince Harry. They gonna make that nigga the new. He gonna marry the Queen Elizabeth. He was cheating.
He gonna do the next Harry Potter.
Harry Potter the Moor. He would be Harry Potter Othello or some shit. Watch they get this nigga Othello role or something. He's gonna get a payoff for saying he had the corona because black people are mental. We remember if this coronavirus didn't show you that all is mental, I don't want to talk to you no more. Guess what? The day after they canceled the NBA, that's when black people start paying attention to the coronavirus. That's when the stores started getting wiped out. That's when niggas started locking shit down, and that's when the rollout came.
Well, you know,
up to the cancellation of the motherfucking NBA, the coronavirus was rolling off a niggas' back like water to ducks. Okay? Niggas was like, in coronavirus like child support payments. Nigga, I see you when I see you. Catch me if you can.
It wasn't until they turned it into the COVID-19 is when it hit. The coronavirus you could deal with. But when they turned into that COVID-19, and you know COVID in Hebrew means Kobe.
I couldn't.
When they hit us with that COVID-19, it was like a black mama snake bite.
You feel me?
That's when they came out with the mastery. You understand me?
I knew letters like LBGT. When LBGT was out, niggas was throwing it around. Then it came back with QRS. Niggas was like, it's too many letters. It's too much. The niggas is too deep now. So the corona came back as a fucking QSIP number, my niggas. It came back as a QSIP. And now niggas is running from that shit. And whatever that is not the shit from China.
Yeah, that's why the Chinese was like, shit, we don't know. You gotta call that shit COVID-19.
They was like,
that ain't what we had. They were like, nah, nigga, that's y'all shit. Y'all came over COVID. We came over Corona. Call them something different. We got our shit patent. Y'all got y'all shit patent. Don't be trying to steal our shit. We're not using on our citizens what y'all using, because when this shit come out, I want it to be known we had Corona, y'all had COVID. That's what they on right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so let's wrap this, y'all. Close it up.
Yeah, so this was a good round table. I appreciate every single one of you brothers' time and your energy. You know, there's a lot more that we can talk about, but I want to save that for a larger platform with more of our thought leaders, more of the brothers who are out there with the information and the facts. More organizations, I'm sure, will be stepping up with some solutions, and we'll be here to share them with you, family. But we are also an organization in it of ourselves. So we'll also be coming forward and letting the family know what we plan on doing as a collective in the very near future, dealing with the upliftment and the movement and the rebuilding. Nothing can stop us. There's no quarantine on thought. There's no quarantine on movement. There's no quarantine on the now. So if they say that we can't go outside, but there's millions of us online, then it's the opportunity for millions of us to do things that haven't been done before. And that's come together, and that's financially come together. That's spiritually come together. That's idealistically, code-wise, we need to get on a code. We need commitments from power players and influencers to say, yo, I'm on board. I'm with the plan, because it's time to roll out the black tax. Now, me and you talked about that in Houston, Brother Darby, and I believe that I chopped it up with Blue, and I think 19 Keys, we talked about that as well. But like you were saying, Pop, and like you were saying, Keys, and you were saying, Blue, it's time for us to govern ourselves. This is a grown man world that we're in, and it's time to have grown man conversation. They got boss babies being born, meaning that they got little 2-year-olds talking CEO type shit right now. So even they can understand that it's time to boss up. This is the year of ownership. Like you said in the beginning of the year, Keys, this is about ownership. We have a whole continent that welcomes us with open arms. We also have a whole United Kingdom, the kingdoms of the UK, and all of those, Italy, Spain, you know, all of the brothers out there welcome brothers from the States, in the Caribbean, you know. So our home, if we choose to go to these places in times of peril, in times of uncertainty, I'm letting you know that the doors are open and the arms are open. My brother Nova Felder and Yao, they in Ghana right now. They're like, yo, they asking for the pills in Ghana. You know what I'm talking about? You know, you was just in South Africa a few months ago, Keys. You know, so this is a global movement. We got global moves to make. It's time to form VOLTRON. We're not going to waste nobody's time. And we're not going to treat this thing like a moratorium either. And you're not going to see us, you ain't going to see us sweat. We ain't out here panicking. We're out here saying that we've been positioned and groomed for things and days and times like this, because there are solutions to all of our perceivable problems. So tap in, all right? That being said, let y'all leave your last words and we out.
Man, stay clear, stay focused, and drink on that water.
That's right. That's right.
Check out. No, seriously though, we definitely in that time. I definitely got word from someone from the CDC that they're supposed to be doing a nationwide shutdown in the next 36 hours. So I just want everybody to be conscious of that. You understand me? This thing is not getting better before it gets worse. You know, that's kind of like how a virus is. It has to run its course. And this is a virus that everybody has contracted. You understand me? And that's what you're feeling. You understand me? The body. You understand me? The entire body has this right now. And so you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on, because you've never seen the body with this type of flu before. You understand me? And the world has this flu. So once it runs its course, your system will be much stronger than it was when you went in. So just think of that in mind, and you won't be able to get the same thing twice, which is why every time you have to continue to do something new. You understand me? So prepare yourself not only for this one, but in between time for the next one, because this is only a phase of the next stage. Tap in.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, indeed. Once again, peace, love, and light. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother said, make sure that you are taking in your daily intake of that gold. If you can't get to the sun and get that vitamin D, at least you're gonna get some gold in your body. You know what I'm saying? And get that smart moss as well. You know, do things that are gonna build the immunity. You know what I'm saying? Just answer the calling and don't go backwards. We see a lot of people going backwards and doing the reverse of what the time dictates and calls for. You know what I'm saying? Answer the calling. Show up in a stellar fashion. You dig what I'm saying? So, like you said, not only build your immunity so you can thwart what they throwing at you this particular time, but in the interim, you know what I'm saying? We can start fortifying ourselves to make sure that they never catch us unprepared ever again. You dig what I'm saying? So we look forward to the next phase of things. And we're gonna see you on the other side. Peace.
My thing is just about let's take a quantum leap, right? Quantum is a discrete bundle of energy that reflects the frequency that it vibrates on. So if we're gonna vibrate on a certain frequency and we're gonna have, if quantum physics proves that nothing is solid, then all of this is liquid. Everything is movable. We just got to be able to look at the world like that, and everything got a price to it. So talent is our ability to see a target that has never been hit, and vision is our ability to see a target that nobody can see. So let's look at those targets that nobody can see and actually go for it and walk in that direction till they become visible. And when they become visible, we take our next step, take that new reality and mold something that history can't ignore. You know what I'm saying? So, man, my app Unity as well. Y'all go tap in on that. It's available right now. We can literally have this conversation in a group chat and continue it on. But it's something that we need to do, and there it is. What you about to say, Blue?
You know what I'm saying? That part right there, build something that the world cannot ignore. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we got some master plans and it's just time to execute. There's no better time to be alive. I want to say thank you to my parents for preparing me, you know what I mean? And it's 44th year to just bear witness, just to be here, to share the space, with individuals that get it. Because not everybody in this community get it. You know what I'm saying? If you go to other channels, they still talking about things that are nonsensical. They're out of time. You know what I'm saying? They're not even on the same page with current events. They talking about things that happened 3 weeks and last month ago, and whatever else that 3,000 years ago. So I want to thank you, because it's been a long time coming. We don't get an opportunity to meet many individuals in this community that can share our vision, or in that vision is a future. All right, niggas hit me with the swan song.
Got 10 seconds.
It went over his time.
My Grammy speech and shit like that.
Hey, but look, in all seriousness, it's a bunch of people watching on this page. It's people watching on my live. It's people watching on Keys Live. Like, that's more than enough. I seen a conversation erupt where people was like, "How do you get others to get it? You don't need everybody to get it. If you get it, it's on you.
And
it's on nobody else. We can't give nobody our body to work out for us. It's on us."
That's right. I can't point nobody in the direction outside of myself. There's no other red pill. There's no other blue pill. There's no other Keys. There's no other Pop Darby. You're not going to see me directing traffic and tell you, oh, go and eat from this person or go and drink from that well. No, I don't do that. So I'm going to tell you to come and drink from this well. I'm going to say, if you want to know how to tap in, you got to know by tapping in. I got 102 episodes of Melanin Monday. Go to episode 1 and start your way up, and you'll hear us talking about what's going on. You know what I mean? So you can have an understanding that nothing is going on that that you think is new. It's not new. All of this is a continuum of a stream of consciousness. It's all synchronized. It's all part of something that's been going on. It's a cycle. Remember, every 4 years we've been through this. I remember us preparing for days like this during Hurricane Sandy, during the niggas thought they was gonna get the Zika virus. Remember, they thought they was gonna look like the Zika. Remember the Zika from Brazil?
Yeah, nah, with the mosquitoes. They were scared of the mosquitoes.
Yeah, but it was giving niggas Beetlejuice heads. And niggas was scared. They thought they was gonna get a mosquito bite.
Yeah,
The Beetlejuice head.
I want to say, yeah, in these parting words, you know, what we represent in these times that we're in, this is a written testimony of a living testament. You dig what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just honored to be on this particular journey with like-minded individuals. But let's go for the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We could take the whole thing at this particular point.
It's being handed to us. If you pay
on the farmers' faces, put smiles on the ancestors' faces, and qualify everything that the messengers and the prophets always came here and said and did. You know, they prepared us for this time. They laid all of the track work for us to be on this train. It's time that we we pull a cord and we say all aboard, and then we got places to go. You feel me?
Right. So
world is big.
World is very big. So it's 3 a.m. and we got about 600 people with us, right? Right in the last moment of it all. And I appreciate every single one of y'all. I don't want to leave any single one of y'all out. We have utmost love and respect and admiration for the family for staying up with us and being here with us. And I want to say this, Brother Rich from Black Magic 363 and my younger brother, my actual blood, my younger brother, KT the Arch Degree. Make sure y'all take care and protect him at all costs. He's starting a 7-day fast starting this week. I need y'all to go to Brother Black Magic 363, send him a few dollars on his Cash App with your email and become part of the fast. And I need you to go directly to this website, Greenleaf-Herbs. People ask me, how's Mama Pill doing? How's Mama Pill doing? When is Mama Pill going to come out? Mama Pill is working. Mama Pill is healing. Mama Pill is saving lives. Mama Pill ain't on YouTube and she's not on camera. Mama Pill is doing what Mama Pill was doing when we were babies. Is Mama Pill is being a savior. Mama Pill got that work. Mama Pill sent me fortification, right? I'm not going to go hungry in 2 weeks. I'm not going to go hungry in 3, and I'm going to come out with mad babies. You understand? That's the only thing going to come out of this quarantine is some babies. No, I actually have a child coming this month. My baby boy is coming. My star seed is coming this month. So, you know, it's all good. And yeah, but my baby shower had to get canceled. So we're going to have to do the, what do they do that? A registry. I got to do the registry now because we can't do we're going to do the baby shower. But Mama Pill got, if you need sea moss, which everyone needs because we're doing the fast and it's only sea moss. So any of the madness is going on about food shortage, because when you turn on your TV, they're going to make you feel like you did not get enough food from these stores when you had to shoot, you had to fight dude with the 52 hand skills that was trying to get the last bread. They're going to make you feel like you got to go back out and fucking you. You remember how Shorty looked at the UFC fight when she got hit up by the Chinese? They have you in the fucking in the milk aisle of Whole Foods looking like Shorty from the UFC fight with the extra forehead. Fucking Deontay Wilder at the bagel shop. You know what I mean? He's gonna be duking it out at the fucking at Popeyes and whatnot. But if you have sea moss, right? This is what I drink in the morning. It's a gel, it's a gelatin. Mama Pill sells it as the gel where you could just scoop it and you put it in water with some syrup agave. You spark up a nice if you're on CBD or whatever, hemp or whatever you on, or meditation or yoga, you get that and you take that as your breakfast or your lunch. That's if you're trying to fast during these days and times where you need a clear mind. You don't need to be carrying a lot of waste. You don't need to be eating food that's imported from China, right? You would prosper if you were just doing it plant-based. But I know everybody can't do that. So I'm just saying, have sea moss on hand, because if it really falls to pieces, you could move with that. And it's a superfood. It's bigger, it's better, it's healthier, it's more lit than anything in your cabinet or your fridge right now. And that's not me being facetious. You do the research. Anything you want to say to that, Blue?
Oh, no, you said it all.
So,
right.
greenleafherbs.com. Holla at Mama Pill. Let her do what she does. And then on Thursday, which is this Thursday, we're having online class. This class is going to be revolutionary. I'm going to be dropping information. If you like the information that you heard tonight, just imagine what you're going to tap into on Thursday. Last class I had about 200 people total who showed up. I need to double those numbers this time around, because that's how it works in this in this online classroom type of thing, because we have information that is solution based, and I promise you, you are going to walk away from this enlightened and ready to make moves and ready to make things happen the next day. Okay? Because that's how lit the internet, and that's how lit this evolution that we are in right now, this technological boom that we exist in. The first one that I did was 5 years ago. And you could watch that video on the Eventbrite page. I have it on the Eventbrite page. And that video right there is prophetic when you go and listen to it, what I was talking about 5 years ago, when you see where we are technologically right now. I was laying it all out. I was giving people all kind of stock tips, all kind of heads up. And there are people who listen to the information and their lives are better to this day as a result. So Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, March 19th, on Zoom. So when you get the tickets, you will receive your link the day of. And if you want to send the first 20 who get it on Cash App, you will receive the PDF from the last class that we did, which was part 2 for 2020, Year of Fear. We're in 2020. Is this not Year of Fear, fellas? Was that not a prophetic topic or title?
Mm-hmm.
The Year of Fear. Now we understand what the Year of Fear means, because that's the cover right there that we started off in January. There's a coronavirus with Saturn in the middle. Because remember, we're in Saturn and Pluto. People have to remember, Saturn and Pluto is everything that we're seeing right now. Everything that we're seeing right now. It's all Saturn and Pluto. This is part of the conjunction.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we out of here. I don't want to keep y'all.
Peace, God.
Yes, indeed. Peace, indeed. Peace.
All right, man. Let's fulfill these prophecies, man.
Tough Talk Tuesday. We're coming back with it. You heard?
Nah, it's already Tuesday for real.
Yeah. Later on tonight. See y'all on Tough Talk. Peace.